Hey everyone, we're here today to walk through how to inflate your new Rackham Aero. This is not just the normal Rackham Aero, this is a new redesigned Rackham Aero. So we're excited to get started. We're going to walk you through just how to get everything set up, especially with the new feature set. You're going to make sure you pay attention, make sure you install it correct so you can use all the features that we have. So first off, you're going to start, you're going to unclip on either side. You're going to unzip. Make sure the straps are out of the way. Come on up. Inside you have interior straps just to keep your board secure. Undo these. You lift the unit out. Start in the front. There you go. A couple things to keep in mind. Inside you have the little silica gels. Keep these. A lot of times people would throw them out, but great to have. Help keep moisture down, especially after you use your product. If you're putting it away for the winter time, you want to keep that in hand just in case. Helps eliminate moisture. Move your bag to the side. So all your boards have this little carry strap. Again, this is something that a lot of times people don't keep, but this is very handy, especially if you want to put it back in your bag. Keep this, always put it back in the bag, hold on to it. You start by unrolling your board. And if you notice, there's a hole in it. Not really, but this is your port. This is where your port's gonna go in. A couple of key things to keep in mind, just troubleshooting. Before you go and pump everything up, you wanna install the pedal port first. What we recommend is put at least 1 PSI in, put the port in, then make sure everything's aligned as you continue to pump from there. So we'll do that, then put a little bit of air in, and we'll go from there. Your pump that comes with it, you'll notice, this is already out of the bag, but you have 2 extenders for the handle. They both have a right and a left, L and a L, an R and an R. Just match those up, right goes on right, left goes on left. That way you have this. A couple things to look at too. You have single and double action. So if you're gonna be, especially when you're first starting, I usually go double action. That means you're gonna have, it's gonna be pumping when you lift up and when you push down. As it gets more full, you're having difficulty pumping, you can shift to single action and it will only pump on the downward motion. So we'll illustrate that in a second. A couple things to keep in mind too, just especially around valves on the board. You have inside is a little pin. This pin, you need to have it up, otherwise you're leaving the valve open, which is your deflate mechanism. So key here is make sure, what I usually do is I usually go counterclockwise to make sure that it's down, and then I undo it going clockwise to make sure the pin's up. So if you notice, if you look closely, the yellow of the pin, or if you have a gray pin, it's going to be up flush with the top of the valve. That's key, make sure that the valve's closed. And then with your valve, you'll just install right there, get pumping. All right, we got at least 1 PSI. We can just leave the pump in. And we're gonna grab your pedal port. So this, when you first get this is gonna have a protective piece of plastic over it. I've already removed it, but keep that in mind. And all you'll have to do here is just open these little clips up, pull this out, remove the plastic, and then put it back in. Secure it in. This is your little clear view port. If you notice right here, it says front. Any guess where that's gonna go? Towards the front of the board. So, and you'll notice on the bottom you have these G-clips, and on the bottom of the board, you get your attachment points right here. We're gonna connect it in. So we're gonna put the front towards the front, put this in place, reach through, and like right now, I probably could have done a little bit more air. So if you're having trouble, you can put a little bit more air in. The key is just don't have it fully inflated while trying to install the port. So I'm doing this without even looking. Imagine that. Try to do it this way so you can all see what I've been doing. Slide in. Boom. All right, we got that in. We're going to add a little more air and reposition it. All right. There we go. Now we're going to continue to inflate. We're starting with the bottom chamber. You'll notice there's a valve at the back and the front because there's two chambers with the Rackham Aero. So as I mentioned earlier, as it starts to get a little bit tougher, I'm right now about 11 PSI. Switch it over to single action. Now when I pull up, it's not inflating, but inflating on the way down, so it's a lot easier. So if you get tired or it's difficult for you, you can do it. But I'm right at 12, so that's plenty good. I mean, typically we say you want to be somewhere between 10 and 15. Really a matter of rigidity, your own body weight and everything else on the board. And also temperature of what you're in. If it's really hot, typically we say do a little bit less than 15 PSI, just because you can get, you know, sitting out in the sun, a really hot day. You just want to be careful there. So I'm gonna pull this off and put the cover back on. This really, the purpose of this is really just to keep the valve clean, keep sand and dirt out of there. So it's clean. Now that we've done the bottom chamber, I'm gonna do the top chamber. So I'm gonna slide this over. So again, I'm gonna check my valve, make sure the pin's up, which right now it is, perfect. And I'm gonna go back to dual action and start pumping. Nice thing with this top chamber goes really quick. All right, and then like I mentioned, go single action, just top it off. All right, we're right at 10. We'll push it up to 12 real quick. Put the valve cover back on. Good to go. All right, so now you can see we got our plate in place here. Right now, we're ready to go paddle. You want to go stand-up paddleboard it? It's ready to go.